Hi guys then, welcome to our deadline stream for FPL Team Talk. I hope you're well today. Everything's looking good. We're going to have a look at the Gameweek 36 fixtures. We got what? How long have we got? Not long now, just having a look. Got what, half an hour till deadline stream? So very little time to get your stuff sorted out. I'm going to quickly go through how we're looking, how my team is set out. Let's have a look. So look at the game fixtures. Obviously, it's unusual to even have a 3 o'clock deadline, 1:30 deadline, 3 o'clock kickoff. We've got Brentford, Southampton. I don't think many of us will be particularly interested in assets from either of those sides. Burnley, Villa, you may have a few Villa players you brought in. Adina, a Cash maybe hanging around. Coutinho, they've got great fixtures next week. Obviously, they have a double this week, but it's clouded a little bit by the fact that they're playing Liverpool. Then you got Chelsea, they've got a double, so I'll be interested to see that team news up in an hour's time to see whether Rudiger James are playing for myself. Palace, Watford, again, Watford have a double as well. Again, that Man City game's really killed it for them a little bit. Brighton, Man U and Liverpool Spurs, both of them doubling. We're sure to have lots of assets, and Liverpool are a team that we'll talk about in a minute, and some of their transfers that are involving players that I've taken out and brought in. So looking at Sunday, we've got 4 fixtures. We've got Liverpool and away at Villa, and then it all ends, nothing on Monday night. I don't know what we're going to do with myself Monday night, but then Thursday, it all ends up with Spurs versus Arsenal. Huge game for 4th place. You wonder whether the results go nowhere. If Arsenal win and Spurs lose, that might be a huge game for Spurs. Arsenal could have, so in theory, in a week's time, really, Arsenal could have 4th place pretty much wrapped up. But we'll have to wait and see about that. So it may be a free hit for some of you guys. My intentions are to free hit in 37. So my transfer plans, which I'm going to go through in a minute, are all going to kind of be evolved around the fact that 37 just not interested. It's 38 and this week, and the doubles that are going to be of interest to me, because I'm going to free hit in 37. So I've started to piece together a free hit side for 37, but I've got one for 36 here for you as well. I'm happy to go through that in a minute with you. Having a look at my current side then, I'm ranked just outside the top 1%, just over 100k. Side looks like this. I've got Ramsdale goal. I was thinking about taking Ramsdale out, putting it for a hit and bringing in Schmeichel. In the end, I don't think that's going to be worthwhile doing. James, Rudiger, fairly happy to go with that, but there's worries about that Leeds game in the FA Cup final only a few days afterwards. So I'm worried that there's going to be some rotation there. But again, the rest of my side there's more urgent needs really to cover than those Chelsea players. And if both play against Wolves, I'll be happy. I think Rudiger definitely has a good chance of playing both. Wouldn't surprise me in the least bit if James was rested for his game. So there's all that to have a look at. Davis looks fine for me. He's doubling, and he's the least of all worries. He's playing anything he gets against Liverpool will just be a bonus for. Just to pick up 2 appearance points, I'm happy. If he gets then a blank against Arsenal, that'd be fantastic. Laporte is one of the transfers that I've brought in. I'll show you that in a minute. Maddison, he played 90 minutes against Roma. I'll be surprised if he gets both fixtures, but to be fair, if he gets the Norwich home game, that would be the one I'd prefer, and I think he's got more chance of starting that. I think he gets minutes in both, but I'd be surprised if he starts both. Same with Mount. He's about nailed on as you can get in that Chelsea midfield. I think he's played more minutes than any other Chelsea player in that midfield. But again, if he gets rotated against Leeds, I wouldn't be surprised. KDB's come in. Newcastle at home, Wolves away. I think you've taken off for tactical reasons. There was a worry that he was took a knock, but Guardiola's come out and said that's fine. Tactical reasons, he was taken off early in that Real Madrid game. So I'm hoping he hadn't had the 420 minutes. He comes straight in. Nothing else for City to play for either. So pretty much he's got to be, he's captain. And we'll talk about the transfers in a minute. Gordon comes in, and we'll talk about who's come out in a minute. We've got Son and Kane up front. On the bench, I've got Ben White. Now, if I knew Ben White was definitely playing, I think I'll possibly start him, possibly over Davis. But I'm scared that he's a doubt for the game on Sunday. We're going to wait for him to train today, apparently, Arteta said. So I'm not sure. I think if he's going to miss one game, it's going to be the Leeds game, and that's the one I want him in. So, and also doubling up on that Arsenal defence, not sure about that either. So I'm happy to just put him on the bench. Can't see how he's going to come into play because I've got 11 other double game week players. So the players I've actually taken out, and it does scare me a little bit having Salah there. Kilman's out for the season, Ramsey's injured, so that put me in a position where if I go back to my side, I was just struggling to get players out because Hwang and Bro's got one game, Hwang not really an option. So if I put on the fact there that I've got Kilman, missing both games this week. And then Ramsey, I was almost struggling to get 11 out. So Salah would also go in there. But I had to pinch money from somewhere else. And it was not going to come from Son. I didn't want to take Mount or Maddison out. So, unfortunately, I'm not happy. I feel like it could go horribly wrong. But KDB, weighing it up, he just has better fixes. He releases a bit of funds. Do I think KDB is going to outscore Salah over the course of the next... I'm only interested in 36, remember, in 38. I don't think KDB is a worse option than Salah in those 3 games. I genuinely don't. I think there's probably much more chance that he's going to get minutes as well. So I think all those things put into thought process, I think KDB is a decent option. I don't think I'm going to lose out with Salah, but you never know with Salah. It could all go horribly wrong, really could. Didn't want to drop Son. He's got a great fixture in the last game against Norwich, and that obviously goes for Kane as well and Davis. So yep, Salah's come out. KDB comes in, and that allows me to fund the moves, to take away Ramsey, to take away Kilman, and in comes as well Gordon. I think he's got decent fixtures this week, and Laporte comes in, and that just screams out to me 2 decent clean sheets for me. So that's my side and how it looks, guys. Okay, any news on White? I did talk about him briefly. So Arteta has said that he is hopefully going to trade today, but we're just not going to know about that until past the deadline, unfortunately. And even if he is fit and training, I don't know. Is there a guarantee he comes into that side? Probably, you'd think. But Holding obviously did well, scored last week. So I'm not sure. I can't risk him. If he comes back for one of the games, it's not going to be Leeds at home, and that's the one I want him in. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at our free hit side that we looked at the start of the week. Schmeichel, he's quite an expensive free hit side, but we can go through a few different options. Schmeichel in goal, I think he's got great fixtures. Do like the look of that. We've got Schmeichel in goal. At the back then we've got Rudiger, James, good fixtures again. There is a risk. I mean, I'm not saying definitely you could bring in Matip could definitely come in for one of those players, I think, if you wanted to guarantee more of minutes. Cancelo, I think he's got to play. Even though he's 120 minutes, he's just nailed on. Trent, definitely there. Salah, De Bruyne could come in. Mount, Barnes possibly instead of Maddison, I flagged there. And then Richarlison, there's a doubt over Richarlison, it's got to be said. And Ollie Watkins up front. I do like that side. I do think it looks pretty good. So on the bench, I've just filled it. Don't expect any of these players to be playing. Tsimikas, he might actually get minutes. That was a word. That's the reason why I don't like going for Robertson over Trent. Trent's more expensive. I think if you're going to go for another defender, if I had to be pushed for one, I think I would definitely go Matip instead. But I think Trent, given that he was given a rest recently, I think we just got to go for Trent over Robbo. I think Tsimikas comes in for one of those games, especially with so many games they're playing over the next few weeks as well. But there were other options as well. Even if you're struggling in terms of money for there, like I said, Cancelo can come down to someone like a Laporte. Or you could take Reece James and put Laporte in. If Maddison and Barnes are both going to be sort of rotation risks, then Saka could come in. So that's something else. Will Rudiger play both? I think he does. I'm hoping he does. I know there's the FA Cup final to play. He's had a rest recently. For me, he plays both. But you know what, Tuchel? It's just no guarantee, is there? I think he's got as good a chance as anyone else of playing both games. I don't think Reece James will play both, but I've got him in. He's not a transfer I'm prioritising at the moment. But yeah, I like Rudiger. For me, he's got to come in. If he plays one of those games, it's going to be today against Wolves. That's probably the game I would prefer him to play. So if he just gets 6 points and he gets rest in the next game, that's not a disaster for me. But then you got Nketiah up front as well. So you could drop Richarlison down to Nketiah. That looks like a reasonable move. And there's a flag on Richarlison, so that's a worry. Laporte or Diaz? Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? I think they're both pretty much nailed. I think probably Diaz has had a rest recently, isn't it? I don't know. I think Laporte's slightly cheaper than Diaz, isn't he? It might be only by 0.1. I would go Laporte over Diaz. just because I think he's a little bit more guaranteed for minutes. But I think, possibly if you went for both instead of a Cancelo and a Diaz or a Cancelo Laporte, I certainly wouldn't rule that out. I don't think that's a bad call. But yeah, Laporte just about over Diaz. I think they've probably got similar attacking threat. Laporte slightly cheaper, maybe slightly more nailed on. Strange, isn't it? Because certainly at the start of the season, you would have said Diaz is the one player, him and Ederson were always going to be playing in that defence. But then Cancelo's come in and absolutely nailed. And now Laporte looks like he's got his place absolutely nailed in there as well. So I would definitely for a free hit side go Laporte. Saka, yeah, and Nketiah, he looks good up front for Arsenal, really cheap. I don't think there's many better striker options. Broja doesn't look like an option to me anymore. Just not sure about his minutes at Southampton or his future or what that holds for him. So I don't think I'll be going with Broja. I've got him in my side. I'm just absolutely benching him. Nketiah at that same price, maybe his minutes look more guaranteed than Mateta as well. Watkins, decent fixtures as well, quite like that. So there's quite a few options there. One point, you could certainly upgrade this side as well. You could go Mount, you could go up to a Havertz, maybe something like that. If you've got a couple of million, if you wanted to, you could go down to a Cancelo, down to a Diaz, Rudiger up to a James, maybe that as well. But yeah, there's quite a few options. Free hit this week looks pretty good. The only thing I don't like about free hit, and obviously I wouldn't go any different than this, but there is a risk you've got the likes of Son playing twice, Kane playing twice, and if they did something like they did against Man City earlier in the season, then that's a worry. Natip or Virgil van Dijk, regardless of price. Doesn't matter about price. Okay, Virgil, he's absolutely nailed. I think he's got slightly more attacking threat. Absolutely Virgil every time for me. They're both fit and ready. Virgil, yep, absolutely. So there you go, guys. That's the free hit side. I haven't made my moves yet, if I'm honest. Let's go back. I'm going to go back and show you my side again. So we've got, how long? We've got 20 minutes to deadline, so I haven't got a lot of time to start tinkering around. Might have to close this off slightly early because I want to make sure that these are done. I'm captaining De Bruyne. I've pretty much set on that. I want to get a Manchester City defender in, and I was 0.1 off getting him in. So the move between Gordon and Ramsey, I wasn't massively keen on. But if I bring Gordon in, I am getting extra 0.1, strangely enough, and that just is exactly the right amount of money to bring in Laporte. So I'm forced kind of to make that move from Ramsey to Gordon. But do I think he'll score 4 more points? Possibly. He's got some decent fixtures. So, guys, anyway, if you let me know how you get on with your sides, let me know what your plans are in terms of who you're bringing in. Are you free hitting? Who is free hitting at 37? So I've started to put a side out together for 37 already. In terms of the side I've looked at, I've definitely looked at doing the likes of, so that's my free hit side. I've definitely looked at the likes of doing 3 Aston Villa players. Looking at the likes of 3 Palace players. Definitely like the idea of bringing in a Burnley player potentially, and Everton as well. Pickford's definitely going to be in. So here we go. That's my side. Am I nuts to go without Salah? That's my biggest worry. That is my biggest worry. I think Salah's fixtures just look a bit harder than De Bruyne's. I mean, at home to Tottenham, it seems. I don't think Tottenham are a good size Liverpool by any stretch of the imagination, but Tottenham's game's all about hitting on the break. So I do think there's potential for Tottenham to score there, or certainly be open. So not too much damage at the other end in terms of Davies getting hurt. In conceding goals, but yeah, I like the side that I've got there. To be fair, Laporte hopefully gets at least 1 clean sheet there. Ramsdale, if he picks up a clean sheet against Leeds, I'm happy. And Rudiger, James the same. If they both play against Wolves and get a clean sheet, any sort of attacking return, again, I'll be thrilled to bits. Maddison, I expect to play that Norwich game if he's rested for the Everton game. If he plays both, I'll be absolutely over the moon. But the only thing I see that, really goes wrong. Things that could hurt me, I think Saka could hurt me in terms of my rank. And I think clearly Salah, lots of Trent, maybe Robertson, or I think probably only gets one game. But yeah, I'll be praying that Liverpool concede against Tottenham. And then who's their second game against? Villa as well. Yeah, there's a chance they concede against Villa. Don't think I'll be surprised if it's 7-2 like it was the other day. Any Leicester assets nailed? I think the only asset nailed I would suggest for both games is going to be Schmeichel. Don't think there's any other Leicester players that are going to be nailed. Castagna was interesting. He was dropped. Well, not dropped or rested for the Europa League game, so he's been a favourite. So whether that means he's in for the next 2 games, that's potential. Did look at Castagna, but I don't think I'd trust that Leicester defence to double up. I mean, they have got 2 good fixtures, but I just don't think I'd like to double up on Leicester defence when there's other decent options out there as well. If you've got Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, I don't think there's any need to double up on that Leicester defence. Schmeichel, only one that I can see guaranteed. You know what? And even if Ward plays, then you couldn't rule that out. They haven't got anything else to go for, have they? So there you go, guys. Gordon, I'm just hoping I'm just expecting 4 points really in terms of appearance points. But Everton obviously turned over Chelsea, beat Manchester United the other week. Maybe though, just a bit of a different beast away from home, as we've discovered. Anything from Gordon. I did consider the fact that if Richarlison wasn't fit, or if in any way he has his minutes managed because of fitness, I think they'll try and wheel him out, whatever. Does that mean Gordon's going to be a little bit more pushed a bit further upfield? We know Townsend's out for the season, so they've really only got Gray then that would play up front if Calvert-Lewin still isn't being trusted to lead the line due to fitness as well. So that would be nice. I don't know if Richarlison, it's interesting, if Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are not on the field, who takes pens then? Would it be Gray? I don't know if Gordon's ever taken any penalties for reserves or youth team. So go, and Kane keeps his place up front. I'm perfectly happy. The Tottenham assets, I don't expect a huge amount from them. I mean, there's been a lot talked about the fact that Son will hit them on the break, running in behind, and Kane, and I don't think it's as simple as that against Liverpool. If they do score and they're more than capable of scoring against Liverpool, that would be fantastic and a bonus. I'll be wrecking that Liverpool clean sheet, which I'll be thrilled with as well, protecting my rank. And in the Arsenal game, I do expect them to do a little bit better and be a little bit more attacking. It may be, if you consider favour their odds on to lose at Liverpool, and then if Tottenham if then Arsenal beat Leeds as expected, that's going to be an absolute must-win game for Tottenham on the Thursday night. So it may be that we see a very attacking Tottenham side coming out then. But given that Tottenham do have that game week 38 away at already relegated Norwich, I just don't want to take those Tottenham assets out, and Son's just been phenomenal for me. I absolutely did not consider captaining him. Salah would have been my captain if I hadn't swapped him across De Bruyne, and then even then we're ooming and ahhing about whether he's going to outscore Salah by 4 points, and it just made sense to captain De Bruyne. I just think minutes all right for De Bruyne. I was slightly worried about minutes for Salah, just because they've got the FA Cup final. Then they've obviously got the Champions League final. They've got a little bit more cover now. Diaz has come with Mane, Jota and Firmino. So I think even if they're winning game comfortably, I think Klopp has got the sort of luxury now of being able to take him off if he needs to. So that was a bit of a concern. Whereas Man City just don't have anything else to play for now. They've got no other distractions. They might as well just go hell for leather. Did think about bringing in Foden instead. That would release a lot more money. And I could have moved a Laporte up to a Cancelo, maybe a Rudiger, someone like a Trent. That was a thought. But then again, I just think Chelsea got a decent game on the last day of the season as well. So I didn't really want to mess around with that too much. But yeah, so Liverpool do worry me a little bit. Having no Liverpool presence at this stage of the season doesn't feel very comfortable. So there you go. De Bruyne was my captain. I'm sticking with him. Let me know, guys, how you're getting on. Anyone, what you think, what plans you have. If you're free hitting, don't forget we're going to bring out a free hit video. I've started piecing it together with must-have players. I'm going to put it together and then probably review it later on in the week because, I'm definitely going to be free hitting in 37. The sort of penultimate week of the season, attacking those doubles. Hopefully, There'll be lots of differentials in that side that we can look at, and that can really improve our rank. But in order to get my transfers done and all signed and sealed, I'm going to leave you now, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. In the meantime, best of luck with the rest of your Game Week 36. Good luck with everything, and I shall speak to you soon.